This program is proudly brought to you by Puma Energy and proudly supported by BSB, official sponsor of the 2015 Pacific Games, and New Guinea, exclusive carrier for the 2015 Pacific Games, and Coral Sea Hotels, preferred accommodation provider of the 2015 Pacific Games.
Good evening and welcome to Road to Port Moresby 2015. As the excitement of the Pacific Games continues to build, the Games Organising Committee will soon embark on a journey throughout the 22 provinces, encouraging the involvement of the wider population of Papua New Guinea. Later on in the program, we are joined by Games Relay Team Manager Tamsin Wardley and Volunteer Coordinator Joyce Moiwa. But first, we travelled to Goroka recently to catch the Carra boxing duo in action at the National Boxing Trials. Rafaela and Debbie Carra are Papua New Guinea's best chance at winning gold for Team PNG at the 2015 Pacific Games. Rafaela, being the elder sister, has paved the way forward for Debbie, setting guidelines after the untimely passing of their mother in 2004. Here's a glimpse into their life and their preparations for the Games over the years.
The BSB 6 PNG Games in 2014 proved to be a success with a handful of raw talent within the country on display. One of the greatest success stories from the PNG Games was Rafaela Carra's. She was a track and field enthusiast and has run alongside the likes of Toya Whistle, Betty Burua and Mai Koime. Last year, she made her transition to boxing felt nationwide after taking out gold in her first fight. This year, she is vying for a spot in the boxing team to represent Papua New Guinea for the Pacific Games.
It's a trials of selection where everyone are going to be, we are all trying to fighting for that red, black and gold jersey.
Joining her in the ring is her best friend, her biggest support, and her sister Debbie. The Carra sisters have been inseparable since birth. Debbie, who is the youngest of the two, has followed in Rafaela's footsteps from switching codes to rugby sevens and now boxing. Rafaela has been a role model for years to sister Debbie. Since the loss of their dear mother in 2004, their journey to success has not been easy.
All my races, competitions that I ran, I always thank God that through my mother I'm somebody. And I always sometimes sit and say, I wish my mom was alive to see. But it's true, like every time we have competitions, we are always grateful and we thank the Lord, and we always want our mother to be next to us to fight. And we know that she's always with us. And now that, even like yesterday I took the ring, I just wanted her to be with me, and I was like, oh, I wish mom was alive. I even walked in the room and I told her, I wish mom was alive. And it's hard, but we know that she's happy. When she looks down and sees me and her together all the time, she's happy.
Education and sports has been the focus for the two. Every bout, every tournament, and any opportunity to fight for their country, they owe to their mother.
We definitely owe our success to our mother, because, without her, and we wouldn't be somebody. But like after her, she left us, our dad and our stepmother have been really supportive. So it's like not only her, but we would give everything back to our mother, but we also thank our father and our stepmother for being with us.
The Carra sisters, who have shown great talent and proven to be a threat in the ring, say fighting alongside each other at the games would be a dream come true.
It feels good. I feel great. Like having her beside me is like having the whole family behind us. I'm sure like they'll probably be there supporting and all that, but like having Rafaela next to me is she inspires me and she motivates me. So if I'm stuck close to Lomia, I'll feel I would have a lot of confidence and courage here too.
Debbie has always been focused on boxing. With minor setbacks in previous years due to marital and family obligations, she says nothing is stopping her now. With a wealth of experience and exposure, both internationally and locally, she has built herself over the years, training quietly at home with the hope and goal of returning to professional boxing.
It's a bit complicated. Like sometimes she comes in for training and I'm not out there trying to train with her. But we try to find time to train along each other. And there's some things that she doesn't know, and I try to talk her into it, and I try to help her to understand like what boxing is like. And boxing is not about you just standing in the ring and giving all your guts out. It's all about your techniques and how you have to show your skills. And
The sisters, who share an inseparable bond, will be fighting for their family, their countrymen, and most importantly, their mother at the 2015 Pacific Games.
And make sure we win our goal for the country. Like it's like going into a battle and you're fighting for your country. And for us, it's to carry the flag, and we want to stand on the podium and be proud Papua New Guineans to play here where everyone can see us. Like the whole time we play overseas, they see us on TV and papers, and it's an opportunity for us to train here. Play in the Pacific Games, and our aim. For me, I would like to aim to win a goal, and so as Debbie. So we would strive to win gold for the country.
The 2015 Pacific Games will be the perfect opportunity to display not only unity and sportsmanship in the Pacific, but to also showcase PNG's unique culture and tradition. In this segment, Games Relay Team Manager Tamsin Wardley joins us as she speaks of the relay team's plans over their 100-day journey and how they plan on showcasing Papua New Guinea's rich culture and diversity.
Known as the land of the unexpected, Papua New Guinea also carries a tag of being one of the most diverse countries in the world. With a population of close to 7 million people speaking over 800 different languages from 22 provinces broken up into 4 regions. The diversity between the cultures vary from the colourful Huli tribe who inhabit the southern highlands of Papua New Guinea to the bare-chested women tattooed in traditional sketches from the Hirimuala villages in the central province to the Sepik province, where skin cutting and carving of crocodile scales are a part of their traditional initiation into society. Our unparalleled cultures, unique customary practices and traditional initiations is what gives Papua New Guinea its image. It is through provincial days and independence celebrations that you see Papua New Guinea's cultures blossom. However, this year, the 2015 Port Moresby Pacific Games will be the perfect opportunity to display not only unity and sportsmanship in the Pacific, but to showcase Papua New Guinea's unique culture and tradition. The Pacific Games Organising Committee has put together a games relay team. As per the tradition for all multi-sport events, the 2015 Pacific Games Relay will travel throughout the 22 provinces, spreading the awareness of the Games and encouraging the involvement of the wider population of Papua New Guinea.
So relays are a bit of a tradition for all multi-sport games like the Olympic Games, the Com Games and of course our Pacific Games. So the whole idea, as you said, it's about building up that excitement before the Games, and particularly here where all the sports are actually being held in Port Moresby, it's an opportunity for the whole of Papua New Guinea to be involved in the Games. And that's what we're going to try and do. Over 100 days, we're going to try and take our baton to as many people as we possibly can. So we really want people, when we go to your province or your hometown, to come and see the baton. Hopefully you'll have the honour of being picked as one of the baton runners, which would be absolutely fantastic. But do come out and get involved in it.
Tamsin leads the Games Relay team of 4. On the 26th of March, they will depart Port Moresby from Ella Beach and make their way up to Vanimo in Sundown Province and will visit the provinces in the Highlands region before making their way down to the southern region, ending the relay in Port Moresby on the eve of the opening ceremony on the 4th of July.
Once we arrive, we actually put ourselves into the hands of the provincial coordinators. So they organise the event in each province. But in each province there will be set relays, so there'll be the traditional relay patting the baton as you go down the road. We actually start in Vanimo, so West Sea Peak Province, and then we sweep across the country from there. So their provincial team, because they've known that they're first for a long time, so their preparations are very well advanced, and they're looking forward to us arriving.
Over the last 6 months, the Games Relay team has worked with Tanya Nugent, Director of Makota Productions, in charge of the opening and closing ceremony, to incorporate the finale of the Games Relay with the opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony is a massive secret. The baton relay is a very important part of the opening ceremony, and the runners that we will be selecting for that last leg, everybody will recognise and know across the country. It's going to involve current athletes. It also involves former athletes. The provinces, as I said, pick the teams, but the baton runners will be a broad spectrum of PNG society. So yes, athletes will be involved, but also every day men, women and children will be involved. People of significance and importance in individual provinces, village elders, people that are important in the corporate world, people that have significance for the particular area that we're in. So a very broad selection of people will actually be designated as runners of the baton.
Tamsin, who also shares similar views in promoting Papua New Guinea's culture, indicated that the Games Relay team has something exciting planned for the opening of the Games and will include photos, captions and footage collated over the 100 days.
Team PNG comes from the whole of Papua New Guinea, so whilst the sporting event might happen here in Port Moresby, our team comes from the whole of Papua New Guinea. It's an opportunity to showcase Papua New Guinea, its people and its natural beauty. So we will be going to places of significance in each province, really for the photo opportunity and an opportunity to be with the people and take some amazing photos. We're going to show the photos as part of the opening ceremony. We're hoping to have an exhibition back here in Moresby so that it doesn't just happen on the day as we go through somewhere, but the memory's kept for the future.
With so much ahead of the Games Organising Committee and the Games Relay team, Tamsin and her team are now embarking on a campaign to promote the 100-day event before the 26th of March to have villagers in all 22 provinces know that the Games are coming.
So the awareness is really picking up speed now. We're almost at our 50 days to go. So Yes, that's picking up. Mainly we're using radio because, of course, out in the provinces it's very difficult to get the messages out. But yes, with MTV on board and everybody really following it, and all the momentum and excitement for the Games is really building now. So there's a large program, not just the relay, but the Organising Committee has an entire plan of events leading up to the actual opening ceremony of the Games. We're a large part of that, but we're not the only part. On Facebook and Twitter, and we are actually asking everybody to get involved. Once we're on the road, we want people to send in messages to say they've seen us and and the experience. But also before we even start, we're still taking feedback as to great places in PNG that we should go to. So if someone has a particular place that they'd like us to go to, then please, yes, hop onto the Twitter and let us know.
This year, 5,000 Papua New Guineans will be given the opportunity to be a part of history as part of the volunteer service for the 2015 Pacific Games. Pacific Games volunteer coordinator Joyce Moiwa says the volunteers will play a pivotal role in ensuring the successful rollout of the Games. In this final segment, we are joined by Greg Saweni and Mrs. Lohia, both who have represented Papua New Guinea as volunteers in the 1991 Pacific Games.
As the excitement of the Pacific Games builds, the Games Organising Committee is giving the people of Papua New Guinea a chance to be an integral part of the event by signing up to be a volunteer at this most prestigious sporting event. Volunteer coordinator for the Pacific Games, Joyce Moiwa's core duty involves ensuring there are correct policies and procedures in place for the recruitment of volunteers.
My main responsibilities are basically making sure that we have the right processes in place for the recruitment of our volunteers, for the pool of volunteers that we'll be getting, and making sure that we have the right training material, the resources to train those volunteers, and making sure that we have enough resources to support them. And basically that's the function of what the whole team is doing. And leading up to the Games, our focus is on policy formulation for the volunteers, volunteer planning, and managing the volunteers in terms of identifying the necessary support areas so we can manage them effectively to assist us in delivering the Games during Games time.
Joyce stresses on the fact that the volunteer position is one where a volunteer does not get paid but dedicates their time and heart to what they are involved in. She also ensured that volunteers will receive support services from the Games Committee during the duration of the Games.
To volunteer, anyone can volunteer so long as you're 18 years and above. You have to have at least completed grade 8 level of education, and you must be living within Port Moresby around June going forward to the Games time, or willing to come and live in Port Moresby from June going forward to the Games time. We won't be paying our volunteers for the 2015 Pacific Games, and our volunteers we will be giving them the message that volunteers will not be paid, but we will have support services to provide the necessary support volunteers will need to work with us during the Games time, and those services come in the form of official uniforms. We will give them meals. We will provide, there will be commemorative medals at the end of the Games. We will give them certificate of participation, and we will provide transport where necessary. So we would like to get this message clear to the public that we are not paying any volunteers, and if you are thinking of volunteering for the Games, you have to have that passion and be committed to dedicate your time to the Games, so together we can host this big event as ambassadors of this country and not as someone who is looking to get something out of the event.
Applications will be accepted over a period of 2 weeks. Interested applicants can apply via the website or at designated places throughout Port Moresby.
We're looking at bringing on board 5,000 volunteers. 2,500 of them will be attached to the ceremonies team, and they're part of the opening and closing ceremony. And the other 2,500 will be distributed amongst our functional areas, including the spots, the 28 spots.
Registrations open on the 17th and close on the 28th of February. The organisers are looking at bringing on 5,000 volunteers, out of which 2,500 will be attached with the ceremonies team, and the remainder will be distributed amongst the different functional areas, including the 28 sports.
It's happening on the 17th. The big launch for the volunteer program is happening on the 17th of February. And that launch will basically be a target to the general public, and it's happening at the Vision City. And we're expecting a big number of people to turn up to attend the launch. And basically we'll be telling the public that the big launch is happening and they're free to volunteer, and the registrations will be open on the day as well.
Volunteering is an exciting experience and one where you represent your country. We caught up with the past volunteers of the Pacific Games from 1969 and 1991 who described what being a volunteer was like at the time. Greg Soweni was in grade 9 during the 1991 Pacific Games in PNG and was selected to participate as a volunteer. He worked at the Games Village primarily stocking up houses with toiletries and kitchen utensils.
Back in 1991, I worked in the Games Village. Initially, primarily, we were utilized to stock up the individual houses with toiletries and kitchen and eating utensils prior to the athletes arriving. And then after, when the athletes arrived, we were moved into the kitchen as a kitchen hand in the kitchen.
It was a time when he felt most patriotic, serving and greeting athletes from all over the Pacific as a Papua New Guinean volunteer. His advice to potential volunteers is to take pride in representing your nation as a volunteer and to make the most of it, as this opportunity may not come again.
And it was awesome. I agree with your remark of patriotism. I felt that time was similar to an athlete putting on a Papua New Guinean jersey and compete for the country. Similarly, we were representing our nation as volunteers for the Pacific Games, which we were a host to the Pacific. Oh, definitely, I would encourage anybody who would be interested to be part of this event, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. This might never happen again, and it's representing your nation. Just like any other athlete who puts on a PNG jumper, representing your nation, you're representing your nation to participate in these games and ensuring that it is a successful event.
As the games approach, this beautiful widow from Tubuseria village reminisces on the time that was the greatest highlight of her life. She was at the time working in the city as a welfare officer and was handpicked for her role.
I was 20 years old and just engaged to be married at the end of the year.
Okay, so you were engaged to be married at the end of the year, and you also became a volunteer for the Games.
Yes.
What did that feel like?
I was very excited because it was like another gift, a first gift for my wedding. And in those days, parents were very, very strict, never to let their daughters out of their sight or go anywhere on their own. But I was one of those fortunate ones who were able to move into the city and join a group that was volunteering for the Games. Actually, I was already working in the city. But at the time, we were kind of handpicked. Those of us who came in to be volunteer groups were sort of handpicked within the city in various organizations. I was working as a welfare officer at that time.
She received courage from the crowds and felt a sense of great pride when she saw Papua New Guinean athletes participate. Often she wished she was a participant of the Pacific Games herself. On a parting note, Mrs. Lohia states that people were handpicked, but now there will be many who will apply and only a lucky few who will be selected.
It made me the proudest person at that time to be part of Papua New Guinea, to be a Papua New Guinean. And when I saw all those young men and women playing their sports, I wished that I had my own children or I wish that I was one of those participants. The feeling is so different that, you want to be in there. There's nothing more you would wish to, apart from being a volunteer, but to be able to participate, to run or to swim or to play netball. That was a dream. I would say go for it, because you may never have the chance. In those days, we were handpicked, but nowadays, you are among many, and if you're lucky, you'll be selected. If not, so whoever is going to be selected, just go for it. Don't have second thoughts about becoming a volunteer or not, because it'll open your eyes to many things, knowing people, having more confidence in yourself, and learning a lot of things, new things.
That's all for Road to Port Moresby 2015 tonight. If you'd like to view this episode again, visit www.emtv.com.pg or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Road to Port Moresby 2015. I'm Lorraine Genia. Good night.
This program was proudly brought to you by Puma Energy and proudly supported by BSB, official sponsor of the 2015 Pacific Games, and New Guinea, exclusive carrier for the 2015 Pacific Games, and Coral Sea Hotels, preferred accommodation provider of the 2015 Pacific Games.